Welcome back to the 2025 Tim Selinske United States Masters Championships presented by Innova Disc. We are at Oso Canyon. Myself, Jennifer Allen, Sandra Richardson, Sammy Joe Guerrero, and Lisa Fajkus here for round 2. This is the back 9 in a beautiful Ruidoso, New Mexico for your Masters PDGA Major.
Okay, we are on hole 10. This is a 190-foot hole. It's downhill.
Well, it's uphill.
Uphill. Sorry, I was saying wrong hole.
Uphill, you're going to go over this ridge. The basket's completely blind. It does fade off there, the green to the right side. So lefty hole or forehand hole. I'm going with a Mako, trying to get a little turnover. So we're going to go up and over and want that to go over towards. I was wondering how that ended over on the left. So if I could have just got around that last tree. Sammy trying to take the hyzer.
Wow. Wow.
And I was kind of we were kind of curious. So we thought she would be more to the right. So totally blind to us. We have no clue except for Sandra's where our discs are landing or where the basket is. There's not even a tall enough hole to see where we're actually aiming.
Throwing a drive 680 feet.
I like that hyzer by Lisa. Going just a little long. So yeah, we know that Sandra can throw the disc far. She just went 700 feet on the last hole, making it about 100 feet off the tee on this one, but approached nicely to the green. Uphill putt by Sammy, catching flag, dropping down. I can decide this. I wish the cameras could really show how like steep some of these greens are. So this is shooting straight downhill. Tried to give it a little run. It's one of those things like you want it flat, kind of. Like I think I was just trying to keep the same height all the way across. Had a little bit of a headwind I was hoping would lift. Didn't really want to put that any higher in the air though.
No.
This is how you birdie it. Just park it.
It doesn't. I mean,
and then you don't have to worry about putting.
the sound a little, but it also just bounces out everywhere. That's fair. Like, it's definitely not a multi-use purpose.
I like how you can hear us all panting. Wasn't even a big little ridge to climb, but. And Sandra is not very short. So this was a straight downhill putt. She did not want to get kneeling down on those rocks, but to keep the nose angle to make that putt, very difficult.
Okay, we are on hole 11. This is 264 foot, par 3, downhill.
Downhill. Here's the one
That's the one I was thinking of.
She got him confused. So very steep downhill. Probably plays about 200 feet. Most of us, I would assume, throwing putters or mids. Again, just the views out here are so beautiful.
Multiple lines on this hole.
Yep. Left, right, right over the top. But good luck.
Yep, it
getting
sails.
that to stop.
Okay.
And, you know, trying to even, like, throw low and skip doesn't really work. Like, it's
a house. Hit a house. Something.
going with the AVR X3. Here, Taco, our announcer on hole 1, all the way back on hole 10, 11.
Don't go all the
I
way.
don't even think he had a mic.
No.
Sandra
Do better than that.
Playing the low
going
skip.
low after she sees all of us sail over the basket. Nice approach. Takes an unfortunate little roll, but it does stop on the rocks. This is kind of one of the rockier greens. Most of them have a lot more grass, so we don't really get a lot of the rocks.
Okay.
I love it. This is a beautiful view, too. Both ways, at Sandra and at the mountains. And
Missed it.
that was a That was a good approach.
It's a tough putt to go for at that height.
I heard maybe someone on your card made that putt.
Maybe.
Yeah?
Yep.
Nice, too.
True story.
Nice, too.
Thanks.
Sandy. Lisa giving it a run back
Oh.
uphill, just to the right side of it. Have you found that downhill or uphill putting is more comfortable for you here?
Neither.
Yeah. Good answer. So Sandra coming back up, catches chains on the left. Not enough to stick.
Don't do it. Thank you.
You know, I'm always okay for a miss as long as it sits down.
Correct. We're not all that fortunate.
No, Sammy tapping in the par.
Remember I hit the tree? I tried to forget about
I know, just one hit off the cage, you're rolling for
We're all excited
50,
when
60 feet.
anyone makes a putt. We're all like, nice,
I know.
birdie, or par, whatever. Birdie's definitely hard to come by on Oso, playing a,
Yeah, bogey, baby.
I would say quite a bit harder than Moon Mountain.
25% more. Okay, we are on hole 12. This is 334 feet. Playing as a par 3.
So big turn to the right. You're hoping for a nice left to right wind. We thought we were going to have one, but by the time that we went to throw, it switched back to a right to left. Not a lot of OB out here, though. That's what I love these courses. Just allows you to play the course naturally. You can do enough damage on your own just hitting things. So no OBs. Going, trying to hold that turn.
How are you that stable?
Hyzer's out.
Holy crap. That's insane. That's so stable.
They've got some great distance, just wanting that to finish more to the right. Sammie taking a lot straighter line so that doesn't have as much time to go hyzering out. So she stays kind of in the middle. Sandra trying to pull that Roadrunner, and unfortunately just maybe a tailwind sucked it down. The winds were changing direction constantly today, but at least the sun stayed shining for most of it. No rain,
No thunderstorms.
no delays. Some of the FP40 women were on the course till almost dark after the rain delays yesterday. Weather constantly changing, and you can hear all of a sudden, you can hear the wind and the mic, and the flag wasn't like it's crazy weather. And I cannot get those putts to stay in the air. They just suck to the ground, drop like rocks. Like we're trying. Looks like we're laying up. We are trying.
I'd like to know the science behind that.
I don't know what it is, but the putts just drop at elevation for sure. I did ask Sammy Jo. She's used to playing at elevation. She says she definitely has lighter putters. So Sandra and I putting with max weight putters.
Does this mean when I get back to Ontario, putting's going to be a lot easier?
Maybe.
Man, we always had to spin putt.
Okay, we are on hole 13. This is playing as a 394-foot par 3.
Yeah, there isn't a very direct line. If you want to try to go low between those trees, or maybe just a little skip in front of them to get to this area to approach the basket, I choose going over. I mean, learning in Oklahoma, we always threw over the trees, so that's kind of what I've been doing here if I can. Lisa staying low, trying to get some ground play, and this is a fairway that does not have as many rocks, so getting a little bit of a skip. Going high. That turn held it a lot longer than the previous hole, but man, once it loses velocity, just hooks it hard to the left. I think I'm just outside circle 1.
Get out of there.
Sammie, not with a clean release. She's going to end up underneath that tree in the middle.
Not enough, any. Not any. Every time I throw it, I'm like,
Yeah, it's just early release and it's by. It's going to fly wherever it wants to go. Sammie's approaches all week, the last couple of days have really been on point. She's putting it up there underneath the basket.
she doesn't ever eat bread, and she didn't know white gravy until they came here.
I might have been talking about cooking you breakfast.
Sign up for this.
We spoiled the Canadian with some white gravy this morning. Hopefully that made you play better.
Oh, well,
So scary. Like
It
your heart
is.
stops when that thing starts rolling.
I know. When
Like,
it's,
man, I shouldn't even have tried for the birdie.
oh,
And that was I think unusual miss for Sammie. She's been putting so good. So I think that's some of the exhaustion. We've done a lot of walking on this course. Camera pauses.
and I don't think I've seen a
during-
basket on flat ground
No.
the last 2 days.
But I think by this point we're getting pretty fatigued. So what might seem like a normal putt really takes a lot more focus and energy. Maybe using the legs a little bit more.
But you need it to
Um,
be high here. I'm trying to get him
Again,
higher. Jesus.
everything's dropping, so I really aimed high, and shoot, I thought I was going to hit the top.
I'm going to try to aim for the top tomorrow.
I hope it works out.
It will. It will.
And getting that bogey. But we're almost there.
Okay, we are on hole 14. This hole is 330 feet. Playing as a par 3.
This is a hole I definitely want another shot at. So many choices. You can go hyzer, you can go straight out at forehand, left. I mean, it's just kind of wide open. But difficulty is getting that disc over the ridge, but to stop. I think if you hit near the basket, you've got the height to maybe go too far. This is one of the holes that there is an OB road behind. So in practice, my T-bird almost went in the road, so I drop it to a Cayman.
Oh, bye left side.
I thought that the wind was just going to blow that, but I did catch the tree, so I'm up on top.
Good, Lim. Yeah, Firebird next time.
Sandra going with a fairway driver. Gives it great angle. If that would have been a more stable disc and hooked hard, I think she could have stopped it by the basket. But this is what I'm talking about. It's kind of a tweener hole on disc selection, I think, for us.
Now get down, get down.
Hard to get there with a mid, but fairway is impossible to stop.
Way down on the road the other day. Did you?
Lisa trying to shoot over this big bush and get it to stop on the green. She's about circle's edge. Been aiming a lot to the right, expecting the hyzer with the stability. Sammie going spike hyzer to the green.
Yep.
It's funny, a lot of the approaches you feel like you're throwing harder than the tee shots.
No, I get that.
Sandra coming back up and over, gets it
Yep,
right
fantastic.
at the pole. Very difficult putt. Just outside circle, I believe. Death putt, straight downhill, wind picking up. Nice, strong bid at it. Mentioned before, fatigue setting in. I think I need to make myself snack a little bit more, maybe to keep the energy up. Tomorrow we're heading over to back to Moon Mountain, and then we will finish off this major back here at beautiful Oso Canyon. This town has been amazing to play in. Everything really close, 15, 20, 30 minutes max apart. 4 courses being played in the major by all divisions. That par. And she's excited. Almost done.
Putter Pouch Sling, one of my favorite new products.
Holds all my putters, my cell phone.
Pencils, mini, anything you need.
You can detach it, put a sling on it, use it as a little hit pack when you hit the pitch and putt.
3 discs, throw it over your shoulder, off you go.
Inside or outside the court, let's go.
Putter Pouch Sling. Keep your favorite discs on a quick draw.
I love my Zuka, but not pulling it up this mountain.
I don't blame you. We are on hole 15. This is playing as 257, par 3.
Par 3, straight back up the hill. I kept going long. After I proceeded to go long on this hill again, I ranged. It played closer to 1 180. So 180, I guess as the crow flies. But going up the hill probably plays it more like 220. So I dropped to a Toro and I'm still outside circle 1. So I might make a little more adjustment knowing that this is a little bit shorter than what the T sign shows. And we're putting it maybe about 15 feet. Lisa getting a great drive up there. 10. Sammy says I can do that too. So you can see they're hitting really short and just, yeah, this hole's playing a lot shorter, which surprises me because it's such a steep incline. Steep enough that I dropped to a knee.
Oh,
And thankful I hit the pole. Hopefully that shows how steep these hills are.
Oh, wow. Wow.
it's a great birdie from Sandra.
I was like, that's not in.
They get stable air.
So hitting high, dropping in. Sammy
I
getting
thought that
her
was,
birdie
like,
to
way
drop.
Wrong.
Lisa getting to tap this one in. Just some beautiful drives up the hill. Nice to finish off a long round with some birdies. Fortunately, I did mess up that star frame.
Sorry, guys.
We'll be changing my shot, hopefully,
Big arm
on
prize.
Sunday.
Anticipate the Toro to make sense. It's 180, not.
Okay, we are on hole 16. This is playing as a 568-foot par 4.
Par 4, steep downhill. You do see the road behind, so that is OB. There's also a fence, very high fence to stop some of the deer, I guess, over to the left. So a little bit of OB on this hole, but very difficult to maybe find it. And like most of the holes, lots of options. You could try to go low, left, or right. You could try to shoot high and over.
Now you just throw
Just
another
trying to get
hole
as much
sideways.
forward progress as
Why
possible.
that scary? I'm like, what?
The wind was really starting to pick up here, left to right. So we were all trying to decide, do we stable up or will everything just pull to the left anyways, as you can see Lisa's does.
Okay, yours is safe too. Let's see. Yeah.
I hear the left is, if you're over to the left, you have a nice open.
It is more open on the left side, a lot more trees over here to the right. This is a gorgeous drive that misses those. A little wind bounce over that last tree. Gets her all the way down there to the green. Ish. Circle
Well,
2-ish?
I think
maybe?
so.
I'm trying to follow that line and I start to turn that wraith over. Catching a little bit of tree and dropping down.
Slowed it down.
I think there probably has 270 or so downhill. Catches that one last tree she needed to get around. I ranged this about 200 feet. Trying to Annie it around that. I thought I caught the entire cedar tree. Apparently I only caught one little stick at the front and I broke that.
Oh,
So
no.
when I think I did horrible, it ended up hitting the pole. So I was lucky with that one. So getting her approach there at the basket. So par 4, gonna get some birdie looks. This is for eagle from Sammy Joe. So hard to keep him in the air that long, but she's gonna have that left for the birdie. Par save. That's what we're used to seeing from Sammy. Nice solid putt. 16 was playing as one of the easiest holes on Oso Canyon.
Now I ruined the star for him.
I can't remember where he got his bear. It was on an Indian reservation somewhere, but I can't remember where.
Talking some hunting with our gallery.
Thank you.
That'll work.
We are on hole 17. This is 352 feet, par 3, but it is playing as one of the hardest holes on the course.
Playing one of the hardest holes because of me. No, because this is one of the holes, there's really not this like, oh my gosh, this is the line I want to throw. There's a low skip hyzer on the left. You've got the forehand is, I would say, or maybe a lefty. Forehand looks like the best attackable shot here. Going with a right hand on that side is a little more difficult. Sammy not really taking the turnover, but trying to go the hyzer route, hits that little tree in the middle. So very difficult. You've got some scattered trees all along this fairway and this low branch with the ground right there, but you want to get it high enough to get around the second tree. So the height really coming into play on this one. I almost did standstill, and I wish I would have.
I want to do that pop up underneath that line.
I was able to get that to work in practice, so trying for that flip up with the Mako, unsuccessful. Sandra going with, I believe, her Roadrunner. I think she throws that on every hole. Doesn't hit a thing. And then you start to worry, did I just go out of bounds? Catching a little cedar to keep her inside. And high. So I am right next to the tee pad. And with not any easier of a line, same result. All you can do is laugh,
And go back and practice this hole after the tournament.
Possibly went back out and practiced it at 5 o'clock tonight. So now I got a hyzer, and since I knew I could get it with a Mako, I grabbed the Cayman. Was not enough distance to get around that last tree. Probably should have went Firebird. Nice approach by Sammy, sliding up there to the green. A lot of pine needles on this one, so you can get that slide. Good ground play. Lisa pitching it up there good. I have given up, and the hole wins. I'm just going to lay up and move on to the last hole. Awesome drive. Passing the basket. Sandra for the birdie. Oh, almost. This did play as one of the hardest holes. So going from easiest to one of the hardest holes on the course. And now here's the wind again for Lisa, which is so unfortunate. It was not blowing at all for Sammy's putt. And then just right in Lisa's face. Having a rough day on the putting green, but she's an incredible putter, so I'm sure she will be hitting all of those tomorrow.
Well, I look forward to playing with her tomorrow.
Trying to let the wind settle a little bit, taking that extra second as you should. Focusing on that par putt. Lisa and I adding to the difficulty of this hole and ready to finish over there on 18.
Having a PDGA membership is one of the best ways to engage and compete with your local disc golf community. Being an active member gives you access to thousands of sanctioned events and leagues around the world. From local events to majors, there's an event out there for you. So sign up and join the over 100,000 active members today. Visit pdga.com/join to learn more, and we'll see you out on the course.
Sammy taking the box from the last hole, going a direct line at the basket. You cannot see the basket. She hyzers off over there to the left, doesn't get that shot to turn. The basket is kind of straight if you follow the line off that tee pad. Sandra's now pulling over to the right, so in between those two drives is the basket. Hard green to hit at 360 feet. Wind picking up again, as you can see those wind bounces. Lisa getting probably close to circle 2. Try to take this up and over the top again and let it drop down. Hopefully somewhere near the green. There's that basket.
Who knows?
I threw my Gorgon in practice, and that was perfect.
So very difficult approach. You can see everything in Sandra's way. Things low, things high. But she is able to get up there to that koozie.
It's like I've been here all day.
Long days on the mountain.
Oh.
Sammy giving that a good run. How you want all approaches to finish right there by the. So Lisa trying to give this a little bit of a run, trying to close off with a birdie. Passes the basket just a little bit. Not wanting to give that one a run. I was okay with a par. Excited for one more chance at both of these beautiful courses. I'm almost already sad to leave. This is such a fun town. They love disc golf.
We have 2 more rounds, Jen.
Yeah. Mentioned before, winds changing direction almost every hole, so that definitely makes these putting greens a lot more difficult. Lisa taking her time. Saving that one. Gonna finish with a bogey, not what she wanted. She's gonna, that just gives you that motivation and drive to come back strong the next day. So I'm able to finish the round at 5 under for the day. It was 1 under for the round, 5 under total. Sandra sitting at 2 over. Sammy Joe sitting at 2 over as well. Lisa, unfortunately, is going to fall to the chase card. Jumping up to finish hit round 3 is Jenny Umstead. There's a look at the leaderboard. Thank you so much for following along. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.